Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video I'm going to be playing some Viktor in the mid lane here, and honestly I think that Viktor is one of the strongest mid lane picks this patch, and if you haven't tried him out then I would definitely recommend it, because the burst damage that you get with Viktor come late game is just absolutely crazy. Like, you'll see in this gameplay here, but I can basically one-shot with a Q and an ultimate on the enemy AD carry or on the enemy mid laner once you do get to a couple items on Viktor, and his wave clear is just so good as well with his E. Once you get that upgraded, then he can basically take out a whole wave without even having like barely any items. So yeah, I just think Viktor's a very versatile pick. He's got great wave clear, he's got actually some pretty good mobility with his Q once you get that upgraded as well. So yeah, if you guys haven't tried out Viktor, I would definitely recommend doing it. But for the early stages of this game, basically I'm just farming it up because nothing else really goes on. Xin Zhao came for one gank, but the laning phase is pretty boring. We're just CSing for most of the time, I'm pretty sure. So basically what you want to do on Viktor when it comes to ability maxing, I always like to max out my E first on Viktor, and then after that max out your Q and take your ultimate obviously whenever you can. Right here, the Xin Zhao does come for another gank. I end up missing my E here. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have been able to kill him anyways, but Viktor's E is definitely hard. It's hard to land if you're not used to playing Viktor. So if you haven't played Viktor like before, I would recommend playing him in normal games before you head into ranked with him, because his his E can be hard to use if you've never played him before. And right here, I almost killed the Ziggs. If I was running Ignite, then he's probably dead there if I did run Ignite, but I always like to run Ghost on Viktor because I like that added mobility in team fights, and like if the enemy jungler tries to gank me, then I can just use my Ghost to get away instead of burning Flash most of the time. You can also take like Cleanse on him, you can take Heal, but unless the enemy, like if the enemy team has a really hard CC comp, then I'll take Cleanse, but if they don't, then I always like to go Ghost just to get that added mobility in team fights like I said. And right here, I'm going to start building into the Luden's Echo. I always build Luden's first on Viktor most of the time. I usually do try to rush that instead of going for the upgrade on my Hex Core. I'll usually get the Luden's first and then I'll get my first upgrade on my Hex Core, or sometimes I'll get the upgrade on the Hex Core like before I finish the Luden's. It really depends on what I need, because if I need that extra wave clear, then I'll probably end up getting the Hex Core upgraded quicker so I can get my E upgraded, but if not, then I'll just try to rush the Luden so I can get some more raw damage on Viktor. And right here, the Ziggs ends up going for a roam down bot lane, so I think I'm just going to try to push into tower here. He does come back. I think he'll maybe go for a roam here in a second, and then I'm just going to end up pushing into tower, and I think I end up taking his tower. But whenever you are playing mid lane and you're like, you want to make sure that when you're roaming, you don't just like, okay, never mind, he's not roaming here. We end up, Tahm Kench comes down from bot lane, and we end up picking up a kill here on Udyr. Viktor's damage is just really good in the early game. He's got pretty good base ability, or his base damages are really good on his abilities. So even if you don't do too well in the laning phases, Viktor, his damage is always going to be pretty good because of that high base damage on his ability. So I'm just able to pick up a free kill pretty much there on that Udyr. And right here, I'm gonna go back and I'm pretty sure I end up getting my first upgrade on my Hex Core here, because I want to get that extra, or I want to get the wave clear, sorry, that the Hex Core gives me once I get the upgrade on my E, and I'm going to end up upgrading that. I pretty much always go for the upgrade on the E first. You could go for the Q first, but I just like the extra damage and the extra wave clear that the E gives you. And then I'm going to obviously try to finish off the Luden's Echo whenever I can here. And what else could we talk about? We could talk about, I guess, builds on Viktor. I obviously am going for the Luden's Echo here, first item, and then after the Luden's Echo, I usually like to get the Lich Bane, because the damage from Viktor's Q with the Lichbane proc is just absolutely, like, it's insane. That's why you can basically one-shot late game with Viktor, so I do like to build the Lichbane, usually after the Luden's Echo, and then after that, like, you can be very versatile with his build. You could build a Rylai's to get the extra slow, you could build a Zhonya's if you need to, or you could build a Zhonya's, like, first item if you're against, like, a Zed or a Yasuo in the laning phase. So, like, you never really want to build the same thing on Viktor every game. I would definitely recommend building the Lichbane every game though, because like the damage with the Lichbane and the and with his Q is really good. And right here, the Ziggs ends up going bot lane. I'm pretty sure he doesn't end up getting a kill. So like when you're roaming, you want to make sure that, like, if you're going to get there in time, obviously go for the roam, but if you're not going to get there in time, then it's not worth it, like, risking losing your tower in the early game, because now we just gain a lot of map pressure because that tower's down, and we also get global gold for getting the tower, so that Ziggs roam there was really pointless because he didn't get anything out of it. And right here, the Udyr tries to gank me, but I'm just going to walk away. And yeah, like this game, it doesn't, like, not much happens in the early game here, but it does heat up, like, in the mid to late game. I start, like, picking up a lot of kills in team fights and stuff. But yeah, right here, we're gonna go back and pick up the, what did we pick up here? We upgraded the Hex Core and, or no, I don't think we upgraded the Hex Core, but we got the Sork boots for sure there. And you always want to basically build Sork boots on Viktor. Like, I don't see any reason for building anything else than the Sork boots. You could go for cooldown boots, I guess. I haven't actually tried that. It might actually not be a bad idea on Viktor, but I usually just go for the Sork boots every single game. And right here, we do end up getting into a little fight, I think. Blitzcrank ends up dying, but we're just going to keep farming up here, clearing the waves. Like, it's really easy to farm as Viktor. That's another reason why I really like him, because his E can just take out a whole wave. Like, right at this point in the game, I can't take out the whole wave with one E, but eventually I'll be able to do that, and it's just so easy to pick up CS on him because of that. And right here, we're going to lose a dragon, and I don't realize that this bush is warded. I probably shouldn't be sitting here without a sweeper, but I'm going to get dove on here by the Ziggs and the Nami. And fortunately enough for me, I'm able to dodge this Ziggs Q here, and then I'm able to get out. I'm pretty sure the Ziggs has a pretty big rage in the chat here in a second. I can't really see what he says there because my screen is pretty small, what I'm looking at right now, but yeah, he had a bit of a rage there. And I end up picking up the Luden's Echo though here. I forgot to talk about starting items on Viktor, like what you want to get at the start of the game. You could go for a Doran's Ring, it's definitely not a bad choice. I went for the Crystalline Flask in this game because I wanted to get the sustain in case the Ziggs ended up pushing me or poking me down in the laning phase, but right here we get into another team fight, and this Nasus, he's not building any magic resist, so I can like melt him right now, and I just do a load of damage on him right there. I'm able to pick up another kill on this Udyr here with an E-Alt combo, and then we're able to chase them out here. If I don't get hit by this Nami, or if I don't get hit by the Caitlyn trap, I might have been able to pick up that kill there on Ziggs, but he ends up getting away, and at this point, I don't know really why I ended up chasing this Nami, because she's really fast with her passive, and I almost ended up picking up the kill on here, or I almost end up picking up the kill on her there, but she ends up getting away. And there wasn't really any point in chasing her there because she was basically gonna get away anyways. And right here, I do have a decent chunk of gold, so I'm gonna upgrade my Hex Core again here, and I'm going to get the upgrade on my Q next. So I get that added mobility, which is just really nice for catching up to your opponents and dealing just a lot of damage and staying really mobile in team fights as well. And that Udyr, I went for a little duel with him there, and he ended up chunking me down, so I had to go B. And at this point in the game, I'm 3-0 right now. Things are looking pretty good. I'm just gonna head down bot here, clear out this wave, and then pick up the blue buff I guess, and we're going to look to group here. I think, like, at this point in the game, with a Viktor at this point, we can pretty much, like, win every single team fight as long as I can land my abilities in the team fights. I can burst down the Caitlyn 100 to 0 right now with a full combo, so Right now, we should basically just be looking to group and team fight like we are doing right here. And I think our team does end up getting caught out there. I'm able to get a little cheeky kill on the Caitlyn there, just finish her off with the E. And right here, we're going to, looks like Tom Kench is going to eat me here, and I'm able to eventually pick up another kill on the Nami. I don't really care about using my ult on here and saving my ult there because I know that like our team's got a load of damage. Our Draven is like really fed at this point in the game too. I'm pretty sure he's something crazy like 7-0. So I don't really care too much about like wasting my ult on the Nami as long as I can pick up the kill right there. And we're just gonna push down the mid lane here and end up going to take a dragon, I'm pretty sure. And after the dragon, the Ziggs, I'm not too sure why he ended up like coming this far out with no vision, obviously. We're just able to pick up another free kill there. Draven's really fed at this point, and the Nasus ends up getting caught out here too. So at this point in the game, like we are really far ahead of them, and all we really need to do is group up and just end up, or just group up and end the game because we have a very big lead on the opponents right now. So for my next item here, I'm probably going to end up picking up the Lich Bane. I go Luden's Lich Bane pretty much every single game unless I'm against, like I said, like an AD mid laner, like a Yasuo or a Zed, then I'll probably pick up the Zhonya's somewhere in there. But right here, we're going to get another fight in the mid lane here maybe. Let's see what happens here. I'm not too sure what happened, but I'm going to put down my W here, and I think we might end up losing this, or no, the damage from me here is the reason why we're able to win this team fight, because I'm just able to burst down like the Caitlyn here. She's basically out of the fight because I've done so much damage to her. One Q does like half of Zig's damage, so like the damage from Viktor is just really crazy. I know I've said that like so many times in this video, but try them out guys if you have not yet this patch. And right here, oh my god, this is such a big fail. I flash in and I try to get the Q proc on the Ziggs, but I don't know why I didn't auto attack him. Like I guess my mouse must have slipped there or something, but I didn't get the auto attack on him and he ended up getting away. I probably would have killed him with the empowered auto attack there from the Q, but whatever, it happens. So I'm just going to end up going back here, pick up the Lich Bane because I had a chunk of gold there. And at this point, this is a really big power spike for Viktor because his Q starts to deal a ton of damage now. And we're just going to end up taking a free Baron here. They can't contest this at all because we can just take it really quickly. We have a load of damage, so I'm just going to clear out this wave here, and then we can basically just group up and end the game whenever we want. So it looks like a team fight might happen here. The Draven's just going really, really aggressive, and luckily we had a Tam Kench on our team there, or else the Draven probably would have died. And we're going to maybe get a team fight here. I'm not too sure. I don't really remember what happened. We might back off. Tom Kench is going to get caught out here by the Nasus Wither. But I think the damage that I have right here, like look at that damage from my Q and my ultimate there on that Udyr. I'm able to just 100 to 0 him. I guess he was like less than half HP, but the damage from like Viktor is just really, really good. And right here, I think like it's a 2v4 at this point, and we're still able to end up chasing them down because like my damage is just so good. And watch this here, like the proc from that Q is just so much damage. And Tom Kench is just going to throw me in here, get another free kill on the Ziggs. And at this point, I'm like 8-0, and we pretty much taken control of this game right now. We have Baron buff. We can just push mid and end the game really whenever we want. And my next item here that I would probably end up picking up is the Rylai's, because the slow that the Rylai's gives is just really good with Viktor's E and with his Q and with his ultimate, I guess all of his abilities really. You could pick up the Rabadons, but I really find that you don't need a death cap on Viktor because he already does a lot of damage. The item's pretty expensive. Like you could finish it off as your last item, or if you're really far ahead then you can pick it up, but I really don't find the need to pick up a death cap on Viktor because like I said, he does a lot of damage already because of his high base damages. But we just pick up the free inhibitor there, and we're just gonna go back here. What do we end up picking up? Yeah, I think we do end up going for the Rylai's next. And I think they do end up going for a surrender here in the next few seconds, but we're just gonna end up trying to grab the scuttle here. We're gonna take another dragon, and like this game at this point, it's pretty easily won. Unless we like do something stupid, then we pretty much won this game at this point. And here's what I'm talking about at the start of the game when I said like Viktor's Q and his ult can basically one-shot. I get the Q, I use the ultimate. If Caitlyn didn't have flash there, then she was dead. Like at this point in the game, Viktor can 2v1, like you just saw right there. And if I would have hit my E on the Caitlyn before that fight started there, then she would have been dead. But unfortunately, I did miss my E, so we weren't able to pick up the kill on her there. And I'm really low here, so I'm just gonna end up going back here and getting my health. And I'm not sure what the Nasus is doing here. He's basically given up on the game, so he's just trying to split push or something, but pick up another free kill on him there. I'm flawless this game, 9-0, and the enemy team does end up surrendering here in the next few seconds. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, then don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So have an awesome day, guys, and I will see you in my next video.